Charleston County had 8 members of the House of Representatives. You didn't run in districts.
Okay.
You just ran for one of the 8 slots. So I think about 15 or 16 people were running.
Yeah.
So the top 8 got elected. You follow me?
Right.
If you ran number 9, you didn't make it.
Oh.
See?
Right.
Because you elected 8.
Right.
So anyhow, I ran.
Yes.
And I didn't win.
Oh,
but I really liked it.
Yeah.
But I almost won.
Okay.
I think I came in number 9,
Okay.
you know. So those elections every 2 years. So it went along with 52 came along. So I ran and I won.
Oh.
And then I served 3 terms.
Yes.
And then my business had grown a good bit, and I couldn't stand the time away from the business.
Sure.
So I quit.
Oh.
I quit. But I really missed it.
Right.
Then a little bit, and of course back then, you know, everybody was Democrats. There were no Republicans. See, no Republicans.
Wow.
The only Republican we knew about was General Sherman, who burned up Georgia and South Carolina. You know, that's the only fella. You talk about Republicans, that's the only one you knew about. And people like balanced budgets. They like transparency in political life, you know.
Yeah.
They like to be dealt fairly with. They like to. They like your public service, community service. If you you got a problem with some state agency and they call you to help them.
Yes.
And you help them.
Yes.
Or try to help them. And that spreads around. Say, man, you call Ravenel, he'll help you. And that word gets out. See, people know you.
Sure.
And people like the smiling face. And they just like happy people.
Yeah.
And that's the way I've always tried to be. You can either be a happy person or an unhappy person, and I've just naturally always come down on the happy side.
Well, I know something that you're very happy about is the Arthur Ravenel Bridge.
Yeah, that's true.
When you think about it, what comes to mind?
You want me to tell you the story of the bridge?
Sure, go right ahead.
Well, the old bridges were really getting very dangerous. So the highway department had an assessment made of the bridge.
Sure.
And we got the report at City Hall. And Ms. Woods Flowers was the mayor. And Mr. Hallman had been in the House of Representatives, but he had retired. He quit. So we were there. And the man made the report. And he says, a perfect bridge is equal to 100. Wow. He says, but structurally and functionally, he says, the Grace Bridge is a 4. I said, what? Everybody gasped. And they said, what? And he held up 4 fingers. He said, a 4. Out of 100.
Right.
That's not very good.
No, not
you follow me?
Not at all.
I quit riding on the bridge that day.
Wow, really?
A lot of people did,
Okay.
And so anyhow, so Hallman and I were talking, my old friend Harry.
Yes.
And he says, Arthur, if you'll go back to Columbia, see, I was out of politics then.
Okay.
If you'll go back to Columbia, I'll tell you how to get that bridge built. So I thought about it, and I called him. I says, tell me how to find the money for the bridge. He says, you got to put together some kind of an agency within state government to take care of those very expensive projects of $100 million or more. And he said, that bridge is going to cost, a ton of money. And he says, but there are other needs in the state where they need big chunks of money to take care of their problems. Sure. And he said, I said, okay, I will. So I went back to the Senate. I don't know if I had an opponent or not. I asked my wife, did anybody run against me? And she said, I can't remember. Well, if they did, it didn't make any difference because I was single issue. I said, if you send me to the Senate, I'm going to work on one thing, getting the money for the bridge. So they sent me up there. So we came up with the idea. I say we, me and a lot of people. Hallman had a lot to do with it, to put together an infrastructure bank and adequately fund it to produce the money for the big projects. And even before the election, I went all over the state because I knew everybody. You see, I knew a lot of the people. I'd been in the legislature and been in Congress. And everybody came on board. Everybody said, that's a great idea. I talked to all the county councilmen and mayors. I talked to Joe Riley. I talked to, John Bowen, I think, was the mayor up in North Charleston at the time. And I talked to Democrats and Republicans and everybody about, helping to put together the infrastructure bank. So when I got back to Columbia, we had the legislation drawn, and the governor came on board. The guy that had beat me for governor, David Beasley, he was very enthusiastic. He included it in his State of the State address as something that was needed. So we got it through the legislature, you see. And then Henry Brown was chairman of the House Finance Committee, Ways and Means Committee. And legislation like that involves money has to go through the House first. And he funded it. He put together the funding package to produce the money that it needed on a recurring basis where you would get the money every year, see. Senator Passerleg was very, very helpful. He put in a little bill in the Senate and said, when we finish taking care of all the add-ins that, everybody puts in to do this and that and the other for their special projects, when everything is done and complete, if there's any money left over, we put that money in the infrastructure bank to kick it off. So anyhow, we got the thing in place, and so the fellow from the comptroller's office came to us one day, and he said, guess how much money is left over, going to go to the infrastructure bank? We said, how much? He said, $66 million. Amazing, amazing. Boy, things have changed from then to now, because back then the business was good and the money was flowing in, and so anyhow, we got the money for the bridge, but Senator Hollings, through the years, when I was in Congress, I would help in the House. He'd put aside about almost $100 million for the bridge. And then the Ports Authority decided to help, and the State Highway Department kicked in some money. The Charleston County Council, I made the request to them because we were going to have to borrow a couple of $100 million. And so anyhow, it all came together. And the total cost of the bridge is, I think, about $631 million. That's a ton of money.
Yes, it is.
But the way we did it was we appointed a committee down here in Charleston County. The delegation did. And the county manager was on it. Mayor Woodsflower was on it. Mayor Riley was on it. And I was on it. And Senator, what's his name? He put together the James Island connector. Scarborough.
Yes.
Senator Scarborough. He was on it. And we sent out requests for proposals. And we decided to go what they call a new concept for South Carolina. Design build. In other words, whoever designs it, builds it. The old way was you get the architects to design it, then people to bid on it. You follow me?
Right.
So we went design, build. And we sent out for proposals, and we got 6 or 7 great proposals.
Yes.
And the 5 of us, we heard those proposals, and they were all great, you know. And then we started voting. We got down to, say, 5, and then we got down to 4, then 3, then 2, and then we had the final vote, and it was a 3-2 vote, and the Skanska Corporation out of Stockholm, Sweden, they won the competition.
Wow.
And so they did it.
Yes.
Of course, they subbed most of the work up to American contractors, you know. Yeah. And so it looked like they were going to take 5 years to build it. They built it in 4.
Wow.
And I don't know how they did financially on it, but I never heard any complaints.
Okay.
Because they got the $631 million, you see,
yes,
to design it and build it.
Yeah.
So I hope they made some money.
Yeah.
But we put everything on that bridge that everybody wanted. You get 12 feet for the bicycle people and the pedestrians, the walkers, you know. And then we brought up an access from East Bay. Mayor Riley wanted that, so we did that. Somebody said, why don't we build it 6 lanes instead of 8? And everybody shouted him down. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. You know, we're going to build a full 8-lane bridge. Dang. So we made it earthquake-proof. We make it substantial enough so if we ever want to put a light rail on it, it can handle a light rail. It's substantial enough for that. We even fixed it where when the turtles are nesting up and down the coast, that the lights dim at night so as not to disorient them, you know.
Right.
You name it, we got it on the bridge. See?
So, I mean, tell me this. When you were in the negotiations for the new bridge, did you ever think that the bridge would be named after you?
Well, Senator Passelag, you know, a Democrat, but a great guy. And he afterwards ran, you know, our lottery thing. He got together with some of the other senators, Senator McConnell and what have you, and he said, listen, we ought to name this bridge after Arthur. He's the guy that, you know, came up with the idea, and he's been fighting it through, you know, right on through. So anyhow, the Senate passed it, and they sent it over to the House, and the House passed it. So it's in the you know, it's ingrained in the law. See, the law says that it be, and really a awful nice thing. And I'm glad they didn't wait till after it was dead, because that wouldn't have meant anything to me. I don't know. But anyhow, you know, a lot of bridges and other things are named after living people.
Yeah.
I mean, half of the Judicial Center is named after Senator Hollings, as it should be. And so much of the things that over there at the Medical University, Senator Hollings got the money, Senator Thurman got money for things. The Big North Bridge is named after Don Holt, who was chairman of our delegation. And so anyhow, it's been very nice that it's been named after me, and I appreciate that.
Have you ever walked over the bridge?
Never walked it.
Oh.
Never walked it. I can't make it.
Okay, okay.
People say, how come? I say, I'm too old.
Yes, yes. Well, let me ask you this. Who gave you the nickname Cousin Arthur?
Well, we're a big family.
Yes.
There are tons of Ravenels around here.
Okay.
White and black. And I reckon we're the largest family connection around here, one of the largest family connections around here. And in our family, it's cousin this and cousin that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is cousin.
Yes.
Cousin this and cousin that. So people say, how about cousin Arthur this and cousin Arthur that? And it's spread outside the family.
Oh, okay.
See? So some people said, talking about what they're going to call the bridge, some people said they ought to call it the Cuzway.
Yeah.
we thought that was kind of amusing,
Yes,
you
yeah.
know. And but anyhow, it's, you know, it's a thing of beauty.
Sure.
And it's and let me tell you something else about it.
Okay.
And see, everybody helped. Everybody helped with it. Everybody participated, and in getting the thing done. It was a community effort. It was something that really needed, that people could, you know, sink their teeth into, because they knew it was needed. All they had to do was ride over the old grass, ride over old number 4.
Now,
So it worked, and it's a, you know, it's the only thing that I know of, and I've been in politics for, Lord, almost 50 years. Wow. It's the only thing that I know that's ever been done around here nobody complains about.
Wow. Now, I know you've said some controversial things in the past.
Yeah.
In hindsight, do you have any regrets?
What's that?
Do you have any regrets about those things, or you just, you know?
Oh, well, you know, in politics, things get pretty hot sometime, you know. And you can't go through a long political career with, you know, not breaking a few eggs. You can't make an omelet unless you crack some eggs, you know. And the omelets that I've made by cracking a few eggs, man, they've been good eating for the community ever since.
Yeah.
But, you know, you regret some of the things that you do or say. But, you know, politics is a rough game if you're going to get anything done. I mean, look at what's going on right now, you know. But in the debates between the Republican candidates, you know, I mean, Romney and Perry, boy, they were at each other's throats last night. And so anyhow, there were a lot of things that I said or did in my career that if I had to do it again, I would have rephrased it.
Okay.
Gentled it.
Okay.
You see?
Now, I know you, of course, you were a congressman in Washington. Did you ever thought about running for the White House?
No, man. No. Governor was the thing that I really, you know, the thing that I would have liked to have been elected. But if I'd have been elected governor, you follow me?
Yes.
I wouldn't have been around to do the bridge.
Okay. Now,
you see what I mean? And of course, a couple of things that I'm really proud of is that when I was in the Senate, I was a member of the Heritage Trust Board, and they were acquiring critical lands of historic area in a historical area or an environmental area, you know. But they had no money.
yes.
They had no money. So one night, I introduced a little tiny amendment
Yes.
to give the Heritage Trust only 25% of the state fee for transferring property, property transfer fee. Just 25%. It only amounted to a couple of $100,000 the first year. But man, it grew and grew and grew. And now the state owns over almost 100,000 acres from that one little tiny amendment. See?
Yes.
Most people don't know about that, but I know about it because, and the people in the environmental community, they know about it. And of course, the other thing that I was able to do is, matter of fact, Governor Beasley asked me to do it for him. They had a big mess going on up there at the Navy Yard. They had something called the BESS Committee. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they had all kind of terrible fights going on, you know. And it got so bad that the legislature did away with the BESS Committee, and they created a new smaller committee of just 7 people, and with the executive director and the redevelopment authority. See. And the Governor Beasley asked me if I'd do it. I was getting ready to go back to the Senate, and I told him I would, see. So I went up there and did it. And I said, now, David, I said, who are you going to put on the commission? I don't want to have to go there and then fight with them as to who we going to hire for staff. He says, Arthur, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to appoint you, and you're the whole commission. You hire the staff. You get your people there. And then once you get them there, you let me know, and I'll appoint the rest of the commission. But you're already in place. So I pulled in a couple of people who'd worked for me for Congress, you know. Okay. And so we went up there, and we got the job done. Shoot, man, within 3 or 4 months, you know, we had things kicking off up there. And of course, now there are more people working at the Navy Yard than were working there when the yard was operating.
And this is back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about South Carolina right now?
Well, I think we're getting on pretty good.
Okay.
It's kind of a wild time. We got a lady governor, and
how do you think she's doing?
She's creating her own omelet. She's cracking a few eggs, you see. But her poll numbers are high. A lot of people like the fact that she's really trying to do something. And of course, a lot of the members of the legislature, they don't like it. And because the legislature's been running this state for a long, long time. I mean, you know, well over 100 years. It's been a legislative state. The governor had very little power. But now she wants to consolidate a number of the departments under her aegis, under her authority. And of course, they're resisting that. And then when you're out there trying to do things and things that are controversial, a lot of people are going to be shooting at you. And but the people seem to like that because she's in the 70s insofar as her approval rating is concerned. And I got friends in the legislature, they say, I can't believe that woman's numbers are so high, you know. But they are. So anyhow, and I wish her well. I don't know her. I was gone before she even got elected, you know. But the fact that we have a governor who's a woman, a lady, and she's, you know, of the daughter of Indian, you know, from India, immigrants. I think that's really something. That's fascinating, and so I think it's a good and healthy thing. She is shaking things up, and nothing wrong with shaking up the political establishment from time to time. It brings out all kind of new people, you know. Yes. You know, we got the Tea Party crowd, which is very strong in South Carolina. They were very effective. We now have 6 congressmen. Shoot, some of those new guys, I never heard of them before, you know, in Congress, and they're Tea Party candidates. And of course, now we got these Occupy Wall Street people are down there today. I don't know how many are down there, but anyhow. So it's, you know, it's things are shook up. There's nothing wrong with that.
Describe to me the following in one word: Charleston.
What's that?
Describe to me the following in one word: Charleston.
Charleston?
Yes.
In one word?
Yeah.
I got to do it in 3.
Okay, you can do it.
I would say...
For you, yes, it's fine.
Heaven on earth.
Okay.
Heaven on earth.
Mount Pleasant.
Oh, it's a great town. I don't know why they still call it a town. It's one of the 6 largest communities in the state, you know. Yeah. 3 of the largest communities in the state are Mount Pleasant, North Charleston, and the city of Charleston. Isn't that something? Yeah. 3 of the 6 are right here in Charleston County.
Well, speaking of Columbia, how do you describe Columbia?
How do I what?
How do you describe Columbia in one word?
Interesting.
How about Washington?
Disappointing.
Okay. The Ravenel Bridge.
Wonderful.
Arthur Ravenel.
Happy with himself.
When people mention Arthur Ravenel, what do you want them to say?
Well, I learned it from Senator Thurman.
Okay.
And my hallmark and my strong suit has always been constituent service. And here I am, I've been out of politics now for 2-3 years and all, and I still get calls on the phone about, Arthur, I got a problem. What do you think I ought to do about this, you see? And if I can't advise them, I can tell them where to go. And I like that, and people like that. And, I have people that I haven't helped in maybe 15 years. I'll run into them at a funeral generally, because as you get older, that's where you see most of your old friends at funerals, And they say, Arthur, you probably don't remember it, but, back in 1985, you really helped me with my problem, or this, that, or the other. I'll have men or women who come and say, Mr. Ravenel, you probably don't remember it, but I've retired from the Air Force or the Navy, and your appointment sent me to West Point, Annapolis, and I just want you to know it has just meant so much to me during my life. So being able to help people has been a great comfort to me. I like that. I like that. If I can't help you, I'll tell you where to go to get help. But if you can't be helped, I'll tell you so.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Okay.